are going to evaluate trig with special triangles and the cast system. So here's our question, even though I have so much other stuff kind of clogging up the space here. They want us to evaluate sine 300 over cotangent 30, and they want it to be very exact. If I punch this in the calculator, it's going to give me a very repeating decimal. Now I know with cotangent 30, I can relate to my special triangle and kind of get a value from that angle of 30. But 300 doesn't occur in either of the special triangles. Okay? But there is a principal angle involved with 300. Okay, so let's say we have a rotating arm. And you're familiar with that unit circle. We have a rotating arm, and it kind of starts here, okay, and then it starts going all the way around. So as long as we know the values in the cast system, we can kind of evaluate what quadrant that's in. So we know that 0 to 90 is in the first quadrant, 90 to 180 is in the second, 180 to 270 is in the third, and then 270 to 360 is in the fourth. So because this is 300, that means we're in the fourth quadrant, okay? Now, to get 300, that means and all of our related principal angles or acute angles always in reference to the x-axis. So we know that we've gone all the way around to here. That's given us 300 degrees. But what's this related acute angle? Well, we can take 360 and subtract 300. And we can tell that in our head is the value of 60. Okay? So now that we have 60, let's shrink this a little so we can kind of bring that information. Now that we have the value of 60, we can create another special triangle. And when looking at our special triangles, well, 60's right here, right? And we just need to know what our primary trig ratios are. So for sine, we'll give ourselves some room here. We know sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Cotangent is the inverse of tangent. So if tangent is opposite over adjacent, this is adjacent over the opposite, okay? So those are the two major ones we need to know. From 60, opposite over hypotenuse is root 3 over 2. Okay, that's good. So we can already get a value for sine 300. Let's go to put that in. Sine 300 is now root 3 over 2. But we're in the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, the only thing that would be positive is if we had cos. But we don't have cos. We have sine. So that means this is a negative value, this ratio. So it's negative root 3 over 2. So that's the top of our fraction. Okay. Then the bottom of our fraction, we're looking at cotangent 30. Well, we have 30, and cotangent refers to adjacent over opposite, which is root 3 over 1. So the bottom is root 3 over 1. Now, this is 30s in quadrant 1, where everything is positive. So anytime we have an acute angle that's less than 90, between 0 and 90, it's always going to be a positive value. So now we're dividing fractions. So we've got a little more room. We're going to move it over. So we have negative root 3 over 2 divided by root 3 over, not 2, over 1. Okay. When we divide fractions, we invert and multiply. Okay. So this becomes negative root 3 over 2 multiplied by, and then we just invert this fraction here. So 1 over root 3. Okay. Which means this is going to equate to negative root 3 times 1 doesn't change over 2 root 3. And root 3 divided by root 3, because it's all multiplication, they create a value of 1. Okay, you could say they cancel out, whatever it is. And this ends up being negative a half. So this 300, sine 300 over cotangent 30 is actually equivalent of negative 0.5 or negative 1/2.